Today's episode of the Outline Podcast is brought to you by Grammarly. Built by linguists and language lovers, Grammarly's writing app finds and corrects hundreds of complex writing errors so you don't have to. Copy and paste any English text into Grammarly's online text editor or install the free browser extension for Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. Grammarly's algorithms flag potential issues in the text and suggest context-specific corrections for grammar, spelling, and vocabulary. Grammarly explains the reasoning behind each correction so you can make an informed decision about whether and how to correct an issue. To download Grammarly for free today, go to www.getgrammarly.com/outlinepod. Again, that's getgrammarly.com/outlinepod. Today's episode is also brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering the listeners of this podcast one free audiobook and 30 days free to listen to it. You can get this by going to www.audibletrial.com/outlinepod. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/outlinepod. Let's begin the show.
Yeah. The Outline with Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. Yeah. The Outline. With Kevin Dwayne. The Outline. With Kevin Dwayne. This is the Outline with Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne with Kevin Dwayne.
I went to karaoke on Saturday, and if it didn't show me anything else, it showed me that I'm getting old as fuck. And not in the old, like, oh, I'm gonna need an AARP card, but in the fact that, damn, like, memories, time is going by. Every song that was selected by that group of people was some shit from early 2000 or the 90s. Like, when you're listening to fucking Pink, There You Go, and you realize that song came out in 2000 and that was 17 goddamn years ago, it makes you think a little bit. Like, shit, we're turning into our goddamn parents. I remember being a kid and listening to my parents' music and seeing them vibe out. They would go to these shows at the fucking county fair to see, you know, their old artists and shit. And now that's us. Now we're celebrating the biopics and we're going to these fucking music fests that have all these artists because of nostalgia. And I'm okay with that. It's just we got here so goddamn fast. Time really does fly. And I remember being a kid and hearing like my parents and my grandparents and older people tell me like, time is gonna fly. Enjoy being a kid. Because once you hit this age or that age, I was always told 20, 21 or 25, it's like the clock just speeds up. And guess what? They were fucking right. And you know what's speeding that clock up? Bills, my nigga. Bills speed that fucking clock up because you got to pay rent every goddamn month. And all you're trying to do in between the time is get more money to pay the rent the next month. It seems like the rent cycle happens so damn quick. Bills make time go by faster. And you can fight me on that. Real talk. Bills, my nigga. Sally Mae, they make the clock go up. Because when we weren't paying bills, time went by slow. When Christmas was coming, it seemed like it took forever for Christmas to get here. Now, that shit comes by so fast, and I hate it because I don't like buying gifts. I hate buying fucking gifts. Oh my God. And if you don't have the money to buy it, then you start freaking out. So you want to get another job or you want to work an extra shift, and that makes the time go by hella quick. Like, nigga, I started realizing that I was getting older when I see friends on Facebook celebrate divorce. When I see niggas get excited about deep freezers. Never mind the fact that you bought a house. That was 5 years ago. Now your ass is excited because you got a deep freezer in your garage and you can freeze more meat because you got a fucking Costco membership and you can buy in bulk. I was excited last year when I got Calphalon pots and pans because I was like, I can't cook on this cheap shit. Like, I need some shit that is gonna be non-stick and even all around. That's how you know you're getting older, because everything's different. You start shopping for comfort instead of like actual fashion. You're like, shit, am I gonna be comfortable? We going to this show. Like, I don't like going to standing room only shows. I'm like, damn, we're really here. I have friends who have kids in fucking middle school. And I'm sitting here counting down like, oh shit, like in 6 years, your ass is gonna be grown. I'm a great uncle. Like, it's just shit. Like, we are the aging millennials. The aging millennials. Like, legit getting older. And that is crazy as fuck to me. And so going to karaoke just showed me that, because listening to fucking Nelly Dilemma and 702 Where My Girl's At and all these songs, you're like, fuck! These songs are old as fuck. Speaking of, November 11th, this Saturday, will be the 20th anniversary of the release of Destiny's Child, No No No. Where the fuck is the special, the concert? Can we get a picture? Can we get something, Beyonce? Because we know you're in control of that. Can we get something? Because 20 years, my nigga. Like, please do something. 20 years. I can still remember that weekend. I was actually sick. I had the flu. And well, not so much the single release, but it was around the same period of time, because I remember Cinderella came out that same time as well, which also 20 years ago. And there was a channel called The Box, and I'm sure people remember The Box. If you don't, well, I don't know what to tell you. It was a video ordering station. So they'll play, they will assign each music video a 3-digit number, and you will call a 900 number and put in that 3-digit number. You had to pay like $2.99 for a video, which, looking back, that's crazy as fuck. We pay $1 for songs, but we would pay $2.99 for a video. Well, I did. My mom had 900 numbers blocked because she wasn't playing that shit. But still, I'll watch The Box like religiously. Between BET, MTV, and The Box, like, that was all I needed to get my music fix. So every week they would have a little segment of new videos where they would play 4 music videos, just snippets of the videos to let you know what you could now order. And I would never forget, I was laying there and there was a clip of No No No. It was after the first verse where they're just, going through the chorus. And it was a part where the camera pans over to the right of the screen and LaToya is leaning in. I saw LaToya first, and that's what made me love them and love her, because I saw her first and I was like, who is that? My little gay ass saw a girl group and was like, who is this group? Who are they? Destiny's Child, who are they? And so I remember kind of like trying to figure out how I was going to see that video. Luckily, it was a popular song, so that video came up like within like probably hours. And from that point on, I was in love with them. But I was in love with LaToya because I saw her first, and she was just, I loved LaToya. And it wasn't until she was actually removed from the group that I even paid attention to Beyonce. I did not care about Beyonce well into I want to say Survivor. Survivor is when I was like, oh, Beyonce's kind of pretty. I'm like, oh, Beyonce's really pretty. And then when Crazy in Love came about, it was a complete convert. But for the longest time, I didn't even pay attention to Beyonce. I was like so in love with LaToya. But anyway, that's either here nor there. I remember that weekend. And so I don't know. 20 years, man, Destiny's Child. 20 fucking years. Definitely want to see something. I don't know what they have cooked up, but I hope they don't let this milestone pass without something, a picture, something. Give us something. I know B got a lot going on with all the kids and shit, but listen, you can do this. And speaking of Beyonce, last week she posted her Halloween costume, which she paid homage to Lil' Kim. And I thought that was so dope. For Beyonce to do that was amazing, because the truth is, Lil' Kim doesn't get enough credit for her placement in music. Like, people were mad disrespectful, and It just doesn't make any sense. And I get it because, you know, Nicki is the hot thing right now. People feel like, oh, Nicki is the queen right now. But what people don't understand is Nicki is benefiting from a foundation that plenty of people built before her. Even before Lil' Kim, you had Queen Latifah and Roxanne and Salt and Pepper. You had all these people, and proper homage was paid to them. They were all in fucking Lil' Kim videos and Foxy Brown videos. You know, proper homage was paid. But after seeing the outfits of Beyonce and stuff like that, I of course go to YouTube because I'm like, okay, I want to see some Lil' Kim videos. Like I was in a Lil' Kim mode because I was like, that's so dope that she did this, and she did it very fucking well. So I came across this talk show interview that Lil' Kim was a part of, and it was the Yolanda Watts show. This was in '97, and the show was about the sexualization of music and, you know, the sex sale, and is Lil' Kim sexualizing our children? Well, I tell you, look, Lil' Kim was on the show, and so was Diddy. She sat through a show where literally people next to her were berating her, talking about how terrible she was for putting out that kind of music. And her mom was on the show, and they interviewed her mom. Yolanda interviewed her mom, and they were asking all these condescending questions about what caused this. And there's so many things you could rap about. Why are you gonna rap about sex? And why are you doing this? Look how you're damaging the children. Like, it was literally an entire talk show where Lil' Kim was being asked these rude ass questions and literally being picked apart for her content. So this is the conversation that people don't have. Like, while I enjoy Nicki Minaj, I love Nicki Minaj, she's dope. But listen, she didn't have to endure what Lil' Kim and Foxy had to endure for being so provocative in '97. 20 years ago. She didn't have to endure that shit. She's benefiting from a platform that she didn't fucking build. And I think that's where the disrespect doesn't make any sense. It's like, girl, you're doing everything that they did already so that you could fucking do this. Show some goddamn respect. Nicki has never had to sit on a fucking talk show while people say her lyrics are too sexual or too this. She just can say what she fucking wants. Hell, music today, women can talk about fucking all they want. They can say whatever the hell they want on these songs. It is what it is. Put my pussy this, my pussy that. And it's fine. But show some fucking respect to the fucking rappers who actually had to endure all the censorship and all that shit to get to this place. And that's what people are missing from the conversation. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube and find the talk show. It's called the Yolanda Watts Show. If you search, it says, is Lil' Kim sexualizing our children? Search that on YouTube and you'll find the interview. It's the full show. She performs, and it was so condescending. Like the questions Yolanda was asking, she pulled out her lyrics, like they were dissecting everything she said. I'm like, listen, Lil' Kim went through some shit, y'all. And I know it's easy to be like, oh, she looks so funny now and she seems bitter, but that's because she fucking was at the forefront of like a sexual revolution when it came to female rap. Pay some fucking respect. Show her some respect. And I think it's just dope that Beyonce did that. And while we're still on top of Beyonce and reunions and shit like that, I got a chance to check out the Escape show. Still kicking it on Bravo. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it. It's definitely a different look for Bravo. Bravo doesn't usually do shows of that kind of, let's say, hood caliber. While Kandi is very much refined. Very much refined. And so is Tasha, actually. Tasha's actually very refined as well. Escape was a hood ass fucking group. You know what I mean? And I could see a show like that being on VH1, maybe even BET, but Bravo is definitely, this is definitely because of Kandi. And you can't, no one would give a fuck about this reunion if it wasn't for Kandi's connections to Housewives, to her projects, to Andy Cohen. And I know people love to talk shit about Kandi because of her voice and all that, but listen, she is the star of that group now because of her fame and her wealth. No one would give a fuck about Escape if it wasn't for her. And that's why they couldn't do anything with just the three of them. They needed her in the group. And I get it. Tasha can be the voice of the group, as she said on the show, which, I mean, she has a wonderful voice, and she was very much a lead, it felt like. But that's on the back of Kandi. It just is. And that's just facts. She's the richest of the group. She's the most popular of the group. Tiny comes in second because Tiny has been in the limelight too with her shows on VH1 and shit like that. So you can tell because the show is shot just like Housewives. It's just another show. And anyway, so what I got from the show is this. I never want to hold a grudge or have beef with somebody for 20 plus years, like ever. It seems like the most exhausting, draining shit to ever endure in life. And that's really all you saw in the show, was a lot of pain being rehashed and brought up all over again and a lot of things. Now, though I just praised Kandi for her wealth and her doing the damn thing and getting the show going and stuff like that, she has a lot of shit that she's still holding on to, and she's been apologized to, and she has, everything's there, but she's fighting hard, and it seems like she does have an issue with everything. Now, she did have some valid points in the show. Like, she didn't like the set list, and she was right. The set list for their performance was off. It would have started off slow. She was correct about that. And I get where she's coming from, because it seems like she was very much ignored. I don't want to say bullied because I wasn't there, but she was ignored. It seems like when the group was there, but they're in a different time period now. They're all grown ass adult women with kids and families, and they're trying to make it happen. But it does seem like she rolls her eyes. She doesn't want to do anything. She hates everything. And she ultimately just wants her way. Now, the set list part, I get. Like, yeah, that shit needed to change. So I was definitely on that. But all the fighting against the dancing and not want to do this and not want to do that, and, well, my schedule doesn't fit this, you're a boss. We get it. But you agreed to come back to this group. And if the other three are down, what's stopping you? And so that's what it comes down to. And I think Tiny kind of said it best. She's like, Kandi, either you're in or you're out. That's it. We can go back and forth about pain. We can go back about who said what and who did this and who did this. But are you in or are you out? Because all this talk is draining as fuck. Let's get this money. That's Tiny. That's all Tiny says. Let's get this money. And Tiny knows about getting some money. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this. Now, I won't say that. I mean, everybody's kind of at fault there, because there are a lot of, you can tell there's a lot of power struggles there between the personalities, and there's that there. It's not all on Kandi, but the way the show is being filmed is kind of highlighting that she's the one who has issue with everything, and that very well may be on purpose. But it's like, girl, like, you gonna do this the whole show? And she's trying, but she can try harder. She can try a little bit harder. I enjoyed the show. I know it's like a limited release. Like, there's not going to be like hella episodes. And it's definitely going to be like one season, but it's entertaining to watch. And I'm curious to see how everything else goes moving forward. Very polished show. You can tell certain people are holding back, especially Tamika. She's a hood rat. She's holding back a little bit, and then Shekinah was on there, and even she was very understated, and you can tell the difference between it being a Bravo show and a VH1 show, and I'm like, that's super interesting. But I enjoyed it. I watched it again with a friend of mine yesterday, and just noticed more things. I was like, okay, this is dope. All right, so yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, it's called Escape, Still Kicking It. It's on Bravo. It comes on after Housewives, before Married to Medicine. So let me know your thoughts on that. I saw this the other day. So Woody McClain, who was in the New Edition movie as Bobby Brown, is going to play Bobby Brown again in BET's The Bobby Brown Story. I don't know, you guys. Like, no disrespect to Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown is a legend in his own right, for sure. But I feel like this is overkill. I just feel like we already had the New Edition story. It touched on Bobby Brown being a kid. It also touched on him going solo. We had the fucking Whitney movie on Lifetime, which talked about, their love, their marriage. Then you had that whack ass Bobby Christina movie on TV One, which features Bobby Brown in it. Like, I feel like enough is enough. Like, shit. Now, I would be curious about his MCA years, those first couple albums and the details of that, sure. But fuck, like, there's so many other people that can have biopics right now, or biopics, however you say the shit. Like, for example, Mary J. Blige. I would love a fucking Mary J. Blige movie. SWV. Jodeci. There's so many other people that are interesting as fuck that I would love to learn more about and see put in film. And I feel like New Edition, Bobby Brown, all of them, like, enough is enough. New Edition was a great movie, and let's let it be. And it also goes into Bobby Brown being Bobby Brown. Like, Bobby Brown is still very much the arrogant dude he was years ago. He still feels like he's the greatest thing that happened to music, which I do not agree. He still feels like, like, oh my God, I'm Bobby Brown. I wasn't a huge, I like Bobby Brown. I love Don't Be Cruel. That album was lit. But I don't see him the way that everybody else sees him. And maybe because I don't know why it is, but it's just, he's a great artist. Like, he's a great artist. He can sing. He's talented. He was the bad boy of R&B. But I don't see him like as just this huge ass staple that everyone sees. Like, people literally have his album on the greatest R&B albums of all time, and it's all this shit. And I was always like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it's a great album, but there's think pieces and shit on Don't Be Cruel. And I'm like, oh, go in, get your life. I don't know. It just is what it is. So I'm just kind of like, do we really need a Bobby Brown movie? But I don't know, whatever. That may just be my opinion. People seem to be here for it. BET probably wouldn't do it if it wasn't an audience for it. I'll watch it. I just don't care that much anymore. Like, I feel like it was a moment, but whatever. It's coming out next year apparently, but it's gonna be the same guy who played him in the New Edition movie, which makes me wonder if the other cast members are gonna come back to show when he was in the group, because you have to show the transition, unless they just pick it up when he leaves the group. But he goes back to the group, so who knows? We'll see what happens, but that's definitely in the works right now. I'm watching Harry Potter. Last week, I talked about how I was watching Lord of the Rings. I finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I enjoyed it. So it had me thinking, okay, so what other movies have I ignored or didn't care to see because I felt like they were just not my style? And I was like, okay, let me start just watching stuff that was popular that I didn't get into. So I decided to start watching Harry Potter, and I fucking love it. Oh my God, I love it so much. It is so awesome. I've watched 3 of the 8 movies already, and I just love the progression of each, like how they get older and how they grow and how each scenario is a little more advanced. And it really is a very entertaining watch. Like, even seeing the graphics, and to think like this was 2001 through 2009, and it's still a great watch to this day. And I feel kind of robbed because a couple years ago I went to Universal Studios in Florida, and they have Harry Potter World there, and I had a ticket to both parks, and so I went to Harry Potter World, and it was amazing, but I had no reference. I didn't watch the movie, so I had no idea of how amazing it was. I just thought like, oh, this is really cool. But seeing the movies, I said, oh, they really built that thing to spec. Like, you literally go to I can't think of the area, forgive me, but the storefront area, and you take the train to Hogwarts, and Hogwarts is actually in the other park, and it's a whole experience. The ride is inside of the bank, and it's amazing. And seeing the movie, I'm like, damn, I want to go back now just so I can experience it with all the context, because just going was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is really, really dope. Just like the Simpsons world was dope. But now I'm like, damn, I want to go back so I can kind of fan out. But so I'm watching Harry Potter. I'm enjoying it. It's super entertaining. And I think movies like that are just fantasy. I'm learning is good for just getting your mind off of shit. And I've always been into like real scenarios, but I realize all that does is make you reflect on your own shit. And sometimes fantasy is a good way to break away from that and just go into some, magical worlds and shit. It's a nice little way to escape. So I don't know. So I'm watching Harry Potter right now. I'm enjoying it. I'm probably gonna start watching the 4th movie later on today. But yeah, dope shit. I think I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to get some more clothes. So I've lost quite a bit of weight. But what's happening right now is my pants. Like, the shirts are fine. Like, shirts are easy to find, but I can't get enough jeans or enough pants that fit to save my life. Every time I buy a new pair of jeans, within like 2 weeks, they're too big, like in the thigh area, or they're too big in the waist. And if your pants are too big, it makes you look frumpy. It doesn't look right. Like, at a certain size, it doesn't look correct. And that's kind of the issue I'm having right now. But I hate shopping. Well, I won't be that. I think I'm lying. I never liked shopping for the longest time because I didn't really care about, I hated going in and out of dressing rooms. And then I never felt like I was really fashionable. I always needed people's assistance. But lately, when I do go, I enjoy it a little bit more because I enjoy how clothes are fitting. So I won't say I hate shopping, but I do hate spending money on clothes because sometimes I feel like clothes are expensive, man. I'd be like, damn, like, how much you want for these jeans? How much you want for these shoes? Like, there's always a list of things in my mind that I could be buying or that I need more than clothes. But now I do actually need clothes because none of my shit fits and it just looks crazy as hell, especially when I have to be somewhere where fucking respectability is at play, like going to the office or, going to certain events. I don't want to look crazy as hell. So, but who gonna pay for all this shit? And I need more clothes. And then I'm going to Barcelona in less than a month, and I don't want to look a fool out there. So I'm gonna find a way. I'm not big on using credit cards and shit anymore. I'm literally in this place where I'm like emergencies only because debt is trash. And that's also how you're getting older. You start actually caring about your finances and saying, you know what? I'm cool on this. So I'm very much a cash only kind of guy. And if I don't have it, I try not to spend it. But I need some fucking clothes. Like, shit's getting difficult at this point. Like, how frustrating it is to buy pants and then 2 weeks later they're too big and you're tightening the belt. Like, shout out to my waist though. Shout out to my waist. Right now I am at about a 31-inch waist. Like, I've never been this small. So shout out to that. So that's exciting. It's a good problem to have, but it's a costly problem to have. So if you're getting me a gift or anything, just give me a gift card. Like, preferably one of those Visa gift cards so I can use it anywhere. But if you want to be, fancy, it can be to H&M or Macy's, wherever. Don't care. I like affordable clothing. Hell, I do not care. I'm not bougie when it comes to clothing. As long as it looks good, matches, and I can do some shit with it, it's cool. So shout out to y'all. Go ahead, You can PayPal it to me if you want to too. Just as a gift. I need clothes. I don't want to be out here looking frumpy, y'all. I don't. So that's the current hill I'm trying to climb right now with that. I'm gonna briefly touch on Giovanni Melton. So, if you haven't seen, a 14-year-old gay kid was killed by his father, allegedly because the father didn't want a gay son. Now, I read the article that went with it, and the part about rather have a dead son than a gay son was actually said by someone else. It was said by a former foster parent, I believe. She said that. She was like, it seems like the father would rather have a dead son than a gay son. That wasn't actually said by the father. And I know they keep putting that in all the titles and stuff. That was actually said by his foster parent. But apparently the father did have an issue with his son's sexuality, and they were constantly arguing and fighting. And I remember being 14, like that's the time where you're constantly, you are getting older and you realize you're not going to be bullied anymore, and you start kind of talking back and doing that. So and I know what it's like between like men. It becomes this whole battle. So I definitely sure it became a very heated thing, and the father probably I don't know these people, so I don't know, but just knowing what it's like to be that age and arguing with parents and like testing the limits and shit like that. Like, it's said that the father put a gun on him before, and he has several guns in the house, but I can't imagine killing my son though. Like, that's crazy as fuck, especially for being gay. Like, I just don't understand. I don't get it, you guys. Like, why are you so passionate about the sexuality of others? Like, that is obsessive. It's obsessive. Why do you care so much about what other people do with their own bodies and who they love? Like, why does that matter to you so much? Like, and then even with parents, like, yes, they're your kids and they came from you. Those are your children. But at a certain point, you have to realize their sexuality and their bodies do not belong to you. All you are there to do is to guide them, give them the tools they need to make informed decisions, and pray, hope, manifest the best for them. But those are their bodies and that's their sexuality, and you have to stop taking that shit so personally, especially men. And that's why I'm weird about the fathers giving their daughters purity rings and that whole, like you have the girls who give their father like it was one girl, she gave her father a certificate from her doctor showing that she was in fact a virgin on her wedding day. That's creepy as fuck, you guys. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but that is patriarchy at its best. That's gross as hell. Your sexuality, women, especially women, it doesn't belong to men. It belongs to them. That young lady, that was her body. That was her body. That is creepy to fuck to say that your vagina belongs to your father. And I'm saying it just like that because it should sound weird and creepy as fuck, because it's creepy as fuck to say your vagina and your sexuality belongs to your father until you marry another man and he gives it to him. First of all, your vagina belongs to you. Your body belongs to you. It doesn't belong to your parents. It doesn't belong to another man. It belongs to you, not your father and not your husband. It belongs to you. It's weird as fuck to do that. We don't do that with boys. It's not like, oh, well, mom, here's my penis has not been used another one. Like, we have to stop thinking we own women's bodies and stop promoting this weird ass culture of it. It's odd. It's gross. It's creepy. And we think it's so cute. Like, oh, that's so cute. That's a good father. All he's doing is promoting sexism. All he's doing is promoting the idea that women are possessions. That's all he's doing while he's telling his sons to go fuck everything in sight. But meanwhile, oh, let me protect my daughter's pussy. Like, it's weird. It's fuck. But all that to say, just guide your kids. And homophobia is just real, man. It's real. And that's all there is to it. Rest in peace to Giovanni Melton. It's just a sad story because he had so much more life to live. And his life was taken by his own father because his father couldn't deal with the embarrassment or whatever it is his reason is of having a gay son. And that's trash, man. And I'm tired of reading stories about it, but they're never going to end because this is the world we live in. And if it's not him, it's going to be someone else. And I think that's the most devastating part of it all. But what the fuck do you do? You know? Yeah. Whatever. Moving on. I guess I can bring it back up. Speaking of people not minding their business about what other people are doing. So last week, I went to this amazing donut shop in Decatur. It's called Revolution Donuts. I was at my appointment, my prep appointment, my quarterly prep appointment. By the way, all of my blood work and stuff came back so fucking good. Like, he was just like, wow, your blood pressure is really good. And this is really good. I'm like, thank you. I'm vegan now. Boop, 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 boop. It was a nice little moment of being just happy. Like, yes, this shit is working. Anywho, so, everything's all good. Results still negative. And I know that's a sensitive thing for people. Like, you shouldn't tell people if you're negative because you wouldn't tell them if you're positive. But I'm like, listen, this is my fucking platform. Get over yourself. So yeah, as you guys know, earlier this year I went on prep and it's coming up on a year in, I believe, April, May. So it's been about, whatever. So that's been going well. Liver and kidney function still good. The medicine isn't affecting them. Like, everything's still fine. Everything's working as planned. And I'm no stranger to sex. So, everything is cool. So I definitely am an advocate for PrEP. And there's so many programs to get it for free. So I don't see why more people aren't trying it. I know some people look at it as like conspiracy. I had someone literally sit there and say, I just feel like that's the government's way of trying to like kill us off and something's going to happen. I was like, listen, I was in the same box earlier this year. I thought that, what about my body? What about the effects? But it's been fine, and I'm glad I tried it, and it does give you a different kind of peace of mind. But that's not what the fuck I was even going to talk about, so let me just stop. That's a weird-ass tangent. But I was in the area. Anytime I'm in the area, a new area I'm not normally in, I go on Yelp, and I look for vegetarian, vegan, or plant-based restaurants in the area. So I saw that Revolution Donuts was there, and I heard of Revolution, but I was like 1.8 miles away from it. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely going there after this appointment. So I went there, and I thought I was going to see like a couple, vegan donuts, and, the rest would be regular. Nah, they had a whole goddamn case of vegan donuts, and I got so excited. So I ended up buying a half dozen, and I got different flavors. And when I tell you, those motherfuckers, those shits were so goddamn good. Oh, they were so good. My favorite were the raspberry sprinkle. The true blueberry was really good. The cinnamon was cool. The lemon poppy seed was delicious as hell. The vanilla was vanilla. It was good, but those are some good ass donuts, and I had them with some coffee. Like, I got so much life. They're so good. So if you're looking for a plant-based or a vegan dessert option, go to Revolution Donuts in Decatur. You will not be disappointed. They're huge. So good. So good. I cannot wait to go back. Maybe I'll go back this weekend. So good. Like, I murked all of those donuts within 2 days because I didn't want them to go stale, and I wanted to be a fat ass too. So there was that. Anywho, I posted a photo of them, and I talked about this before. I don't understand. Well, no, I apologize. I do understand it. It's projection, but all I did was post a photo of the donuts. And when I tell you, the people, they lost their minds. Like, people are like, what the fuck is a vegan donut? And this is stupid. Like, if you're into eating vegetables and all this shit and all this, why do you need a donut? Like, why can't you just let that just be what it is and you just not have it? And I'm like, that's stupid as fuck. Like, I'm not allowed to have things like as substitutes because I choose to eat. I don't want to eat animal products. That doesn't make any sense. Like, but it's a projection. I've realized that by me eating a certain way, without me saying like, oh, what you're eating is wrong or what you're eating is bad for you or what you're saying, I'm not saying any of that. By me just simply eating a certain way and making it look easy, it comes up as an insult to other people who don't find it easy. Like, so people who have tried to be vegetarian or vegan and it didn't work out for them. It's the same with weight loss. People start shading you with weight loss after a while because they didn't have the wherewithal or the consistency or the willpower to stick to what they were doing. And then it becomes a, oh, well, you did and I didn't. So now I feel like you're taunting me because I couldn't do it. It's a weird subconscious thing because that's the only thing I can come up with why people are protesting so heavy against what other people are eating. You know, like people, like, yes, there's certainly a trend right now. There's certainly a trend with veganism because of what the health. And I get that. But even then, why do you care? If the trend is for better living, if the trend is making people healthier, and if the trend is for positivity, why do you care if it's a bandwagon thing? Like, why does that affect you if it's for good? Who cares? I just don't get the animosity. It doesn't make any sense. Like, mind your business. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You should have seen the shit that people are posting under those damn donuts. They're fucking pastries, my nigga. And people are like, this is dumb and no, you can't, no, ew. And I'm just like, this is stupid. You're putting way too much energy into what the hell I'm eating. What I eat don't make you shit. I will always go back to that phrase. I'll always go back to that phrase because it doesn't make any goddamn sense that you feel this passionate about something that you're not doing. It doesn't make any sense. So just mind your business. And I just mind your business. I'm going to mind mine. I'm going to keep having my vegan treats and I'm still going to post photos of them because there's a whole vegan community out there who are looking for substitutes and options and they need to know that they are available. I don't give a fuck about what you like and don't like and what you think is a trend and what you think is going to fade out. Who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, I'm still doing what it is I want to do. And if your ass is going to gangbang on donuts, you need a fucking life. And that's all there is to it. Speaking of sticking to things and shit like that, let's talk about consistency a little bit. Another favorite phrase of mine is consistency kills the competition. And this is in all areas of life. This is in weight loss. This is in career goals. This is in relationships. Like, consistency is a big thing. And what I'm finding is it feels as though, and I try not to do this generalization, especially of generations, because I believe that humans are pretty much the same. We just react differently with technology and other societal factors. But human nature is still human nature. But I do know that our behaviors can be altered based on things that we have. And it could be technology, it could be whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm realizing we live in a time where people are just very fucking inconsistent. Like, no one wants to stick with anything. And I don't know if it's because we all have too many options or what it is specifically. But I just don't know how anyone expects to get anywhere if they can't stick to anything. Weight loss, for example. I commonly hear people who will ask me like, oh my God, like, is there a way that I can look like you without going vegan or without intermittent fasting or without working out or without eating better or without doing this plastic surgery, girl? Lipo? Oh, you can't afford that? Okay, well, you're going to have to do something and stick to it and be consistent at it. I never once said that this was an easy route. Now, I'm comfortable in what I do. I don't feel what I do is sacrificial. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I enjoy my journey, but it didn't come easy. And I think people have this idea that shit is just supposed to be easy as pie. It's just supposed to be easy like Sunday morning. And no, there's going to be some kind of hill to climb. And weight loss is one of those hills. Like, you got to eat better and be more active. The eating piece is far, 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 far bigger than the working out piece. Trust me on this. Like, you eat for health, you work out for heart. Like, real talk. Like, no, actually, it's people just, you eat for weight. Real talk. And then you work out for heart health and shit like that. Like, that's really what it is. And you should be active to make sure your limbs and stuff still move, like you're running blood through your body. So it's still important. But if you're trying to actually lose weight and do weight management, it's in the kitchen. It's in the kitchen, and there's no way around it, you guys. And everyone's looking for a way to eat what they want to eat and have no care about it, but then also maintain or lose weight. And it doesn't always work that way. You got to make some changes, and you got to do some things that you wouldn't normally do for an extended period of time for it to actually yield some results. So I see some people who don't change anything in their diet, and they'll work out like 4 or 5, 6 times a damn week, or they just work out a lot. But you can't exercise a bad diet. You still have to change it up. You still got to switch to more vegetables and leafy greens, and you got to do more. You got to switch it up, and you have to be consistent. You can't do something for 1 week or 2 weeks and then be mad because you're not getting results. You got to do that shit for an extended period of time and just be comfortable in doing it for an extended period of time. And you also have to make that shit a lifestyle. Don't go on a diet. A diet is going to be broken. You got to find something that works for you. And I'm grateful because what worked for me is veganism and intermittent fasting. I've had so many people ask me, so how long are you going to do this? Nigga, it's indefinite. I'm just going to continue doing it. People are like, it's not realistic. I'm like, it's realistic for me. It's second nature to me. It is second nature. I eat from 12 to 8 every day. And I don't eat animal products. This is second nature to me. I don't know what you're talking about. What's not realistic about it? What's not realistic about it? It's my routine. And I do it every damn day, and I'm comfortable in it, and it works for me. So, stop getting on these diets. Stop treating life like, well, there's just this whole divide there. And this works in career, this works in dating. And I think ultimately when we think about this is, I meet so many inconsistent ass guys when it comes to like dating. Like, they'll be on you 1 minute and they lack follow through. Or the way you discuss things, it's just inconsistent, and it's frustrating. And I always think to myself, who the fuck is this working for? Like, who does this work for? Like, how do you get anything done? There was this one guy that I met. It had to be a year ago. And it was on some hookup shit. And even then, he was inconsistent as fuck. He would hit me up. And I guess I was just patient. Maybe I just wanted the dick. I don't know. I had to want the dick because I was just really, really patient. And he hit me up and was like, oh, I want to come through. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Fair enough. The next day went by. He's like, I'm on my way. I kid you not. I'm like, nigga, we talked last night. What are you talking about? You're on your way. And I don't know. Something ended up happening. He ended up coming over the very next night. And so we hooked up, and that was that. Let it be. When I tell you, I have talked to him probably once a week since last year on some, what you doing? Let's link up shit. and he's never actually been back over. And I'm like, you are the most inconsistent nigga I've ever seen in my life. Like I've never. It blows my mind because I think to myself, who does this work for? Like, who does it work for? Like, how do you get anything done by kind of half-assing things is what I want to know. You see it so much. I've talked about this over and over again with other guys that I've dated where they respond when they want to respond and days will go by and they'll come back to you. And you're like, how do you get anything done? Like, why do we not have the integrity to be consistent or to have follow through? I went on this date with a guy this year, and it was a decent first date, and he was pressing me about the second date, like literally. And then that week, we totally talked about going on the second date, and then something came up that we couldn't go on the date, and that was that. There was no follow through. There was no pick back up. Even when I was like, hey, so do you want to hang out? Oh, yeah, we'll get up soon. See, okay, whatever. And once again, I don't press niggas. I hit this space a while ago. I just don't press niggas. I don't know if I'm not meeting guys and I'm just overly infatuated anymore. I haven't had butterflies in my stomach in quite some time. I'm starting to think it's broken. But I don't press niggas. Either you want to do something or you don't. But I'm not going to wager with you. I'm not going to plead with you. Your schedule is your schedule and mine is mine. If I give you a time and place and say, hey, I'm free, let's do something, and you don't do anything, I'm going to move the fuck on. And that, it just is what it is. So, yeah, there was no follow through, and just niggas are just inconsistent. And then like out of nowhere, then they're back in your inbox like, hey, what's good? I'm trying to see you, or hey, I'm trying to date, or hey, I'm trying to, no, because you've shown me who you are. I don't want to deal with that shit. It's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. Either you're in or you're out. We got to be more consistent. Like even with like career shit, like be on your shit. If you're trying to get to another level, you got to work. You know, you got to execute and be consistent with it. And even with this piece, I am encouraging you as I am encouraging myself, because there's definitely some places that I can be more consistent in. Absolutely. Especially when it comes to career, when it comes to podcasting, when it comes to photography, when it comes to all my creative endeavors, I definitely could be better at my consistency. So it's definitely something that we all can work to achieve. But that's really what kills the competition. When you show up, when you're actively doing things and reaching towards goals, you have to. Like, you absolutely have to. That's how you get things done. It's more than just talent. It's more than intelligence. It's more than overall passion. You have to have consistency. You got to show your work. That's how you get things done in relationships, career, and life. You got to be more consistent, because the other shit makes you look flaky, and no one wants to deal with the flake. No one. Because how can you trust the flake? How can you trust someone who you know is going to take them 3 days to respond? It's going to take them a week to sign the paperwork. You know, you ask them to run an errand, it took them 6 hours to get back. You can't trust people who are inconsistent. Be more consistent in your shit. Stop wasting people's time with inconsistency. Work on that shit. And I think it's something that we all can do. But thank you all for listening to today's show of the Outline Podcast. Please remember to subscribe, share this with your friends. Thank you so much to those of you who have rated it on Apple Podcasts. If you have not, please go to Apple Podcasts right now and rate the show. Give it 5 stars, or give it the top stars there. If it's 6, give it 6. If it's 7, give it 7. Leave your comments. Also, whatever your favorite quote from the show today, I want you to go on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram with the picture of the show, or however you want to do it. Be creative. Put your favorite quote that I said on this show. Put hashtag the Outline Podcast along with the link so people can know where to find the show so they can listen and also find their favorite quotes. Remember, you can listen to this on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Google Play, and also KevinDeWayne.com. And I think that's all, folks. I will talk to you all next week. Peace out.